Hi everybody, I see you're here to learn about the void arts of immersive and assault rifle Soma Prime. Well, in the past it was the king of the assault rifles, but things change, and so has Warframe. So is it still the case? Is Soma Prime still the best assault rifle? Well, we are going to find out. Nope, it isn't. It has been power creep. There's your answer. Go home. There's the video. Done. But wait, hold your horse. It's still an amazing and fun to use weapon, so let's have a deeper look at it, because look at them. They come to this place when they know they're not pure. Tenno, use the Soma Prime, but it is a mere relic of the past. Only I, Vor, know the true power of the Soma Prime. It was power creeped, destroyed, but through its anarchy. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's get to the video. First of all, let's check out how this weapon handles and functions without any juicy mods. Let's start with murdering this wall 15 meters away. As you can see, the fire rate is quite fast, and the recoil, there is some, but it's not really gonna cause you any amount of problems. And the accuracy is decent for an assault rifle, but you can't truly praise it for its accuracy. On smaller targets, you might miss a few bullets on the headshots. As you can see, there are a few bullets that landed outside the crosshair out of the 200 bullets I pumped into the wall. But I ask you, does it really matter when you are delivering 15 plus bullets at the enemy's junk every second? Most of it is gonna land. Moreover, this weapon has a spool up time for achieving the max fire rate. For Soma Prime, it's 5 bullets. You really don't notice that when you are shooting 15 bullets per second. That's 1/3 of a second. I don't know why it's still there. It shouldn't be. It doesn't make any difference at all. Maybe it just sounds cool. Who knows? It's D. Don't question D. Anyway, let's slap an Orokin potato and check out the stats of this weapon. As you can see, my weapon has been formatted 3 times, and that is all you need. Even for the stupid meme build I'll show you in the last. Accuracy, as I demonstrated, is kind of meh at 28.6. Slapping in a heavy caliber though, that does reduce it significantly to 16, which might get a little uncomfortable for some people, but since I play like a nervous wreck after proposing to my crush anyway, this gun for me is a spray to win, so it doesn't really bother me all that much. But there's a catch. There are much better mods that you can use in the place of heavy caliber that will benefit this more than just raw damage, since this is, as you guys can see from the crit multiplier, mostly a crit weapon. Now, the damage, that's pretty high. Oh god. Couldn't say that sentence with a straight face. Yes, that was my reaction when I first started playing Warframe, but can you see that intimidating 30% crit chance with 3 times the juicy crit multiplier, ready to penetrate your enemies with hundreds of bullets? This is really where this weapon shines. 1 out of every 3 of those tiny bullets will do 3 times that 12 damage, which is 36. Unfortunately, half of that is slash damage, and that, as we all know, is better than impact and puncture for enabling bloodletting from your higher level enemies. And not to say that's just the base damage without any mods. It's not bad at all. You can easily slap a level 40 Grineer without a single mod to this weapon, even if at that point the enemy will probably question its life decisions to end up being killed by 200 needles, but that's beside the point. Now, the magazine size of 200 bullets will have you think that this weapon might have great ammo economy, but I question you again. When you can do this, How long do you think the 1,000 bullets will last? The answer is 31 seconds. Yeah, I counted it. 31 seconds. So the ammo economy, although not terrible, isn't that great. So if you are running a mission for more than 10 or 15 minutes, a carrier prime becomes kinda mandatory for all those ammo mutations and whatnot. Status chance? 10% was my initial thoughts when I was testing this weapon, but as I kept building and as I kept testing it on Grenier faces, I realized even that is a very crucial to make this weapon from meh to amazing. So it kind of is necessary to boost that status. With the stats out of the way, let's get into building this thing. I will mainly show you guys 3 builds: the bleed build, the dissolve build, and where did my bullets go build, which is kind of a meme build, but I put it in here nonetheless. Now let's start with the usual mods, the kind of mandatory mods, if you would say. Serration, Captain Obvious, which will bring the damage up a lot. My Serration is rank 8, as you guys can see, but if you want to spend the astronomical amount of resources on the rank 10, go for it, because it kind of does matter. It squeezes 4 more damage, which is quite a lot, honestly, with that kind of crit stats. After that, we'll buff up the already great crit stat. With point strike alone, it reaches 75, which is remarkable for any weapon with only point strike. That's pretty good. And then we will slap in a vital sense for that juicy 6.6 times crit multiplier. It shoots up the damage to the sky, and you start to see where this weapon shines. Now the mandatory multi-shot for every weapon ever, because who doesn't love 3 for the price of 1? So let's slap that split chamber in, and I will use vigilante armaments because, to be honest, there are a lot of mods that would have substituted this, but I found this to be the best because it also have the bonus of 5% chance of enhancing the crit hits from the weapon, which isn't a lot, but when you're throwing that many bullets at the enemy's faces, it does add up, and the occasional multi-shot is good too. So that vigilante armaments it is. Now that we have the mandatory mods out of the way, we can now decide what kind of build we want to have. Do we want an elemental build or do we want a slash proc build? Let's test them out both and you guys can decide which you want to play with. Now we all know these overgrown dung beetles are the hardest to kill because of their insanely thick armor that grows exponentially with level. Why, D? What did we ever do to you? And we are gonna need some corrosive damage to go through that heavy armor. Now the Grenier have 2 types of armor with different vulnerabilities, but your best bet against them is corrosive. In any case, you can choose the 90% electricity and toxin mod for the corrosion, or the 60-60 mods which offer status chance too. Now here you might argue that the status chance on this weapon is horrid, so why even go with 60-60? Just go with the 90, more damage, right? Wrong. Throughout 6 hours of shooting this Grenier in the face, the 60-60 mods always perform better just because the procs are more important to this weapon than just raw damage. So let's put in the high voltage, let's put in the malignant force, which will give us the sweet corrosive build for anti-Grenier weaponry. Now the last mod slot. Here you have a few options which depends on the mission you're bringing this weapon to. For low level enemies, I will definitely go with Shred because that punch through will make it capable of clearing entire corridors at once, and the higher rate of fire means you get a higher raw DPS. But for higher levels, I will recommend a 90% mod, specifically Stormbringer or its Toxin variant, which will further boost the corrosive because if it takes too much time to kill a target, the Shred won't be so useful. Another advantage of using Stormbringer over Shred here is you see how the corrosive is 162.8 now, which is higher than 4 times the impact, puncture and slash damage. 4 times because physical damage have 4 times the chance of proccing than your elemental damage. So basically slash is 38.8, multiply that by 4 is 155.2. The corrosive is greater than even that, so the corrosive is the first thing that'll proc on the enemy, and then will be the slash, and then the puncture, and then the impact. Now let's get into the fun parts, and we are simply going to unload on the heads because in higher level that's the way to go. These are level 120 corrupted heavy gunners, and what did that take to kill one of those? Around 80 bullets, not that bad for a level 120 if you ask me, and as you guys can see I'm doing more and more damage with each bullet as time goes because the corrosive proc is softening up the armor. But worry not, you're never in danger of overstripping the armor because the damage is high enough to kill the enemy before the overstripping happens. Why is that even a thing, D? How does that make sense? Having armor hurts you more? What? But in my opinion, if you're really gonna go with level 100 plus enemies, you know, the endurance runs, endgame contents, level 400 eximus and whatnot, the bleed build is the way to go. Mostly because it would not really make it faster to kill them, but it will certainly take significantly lower of ammo, and in endurance runs you will be running out of ammo pretty fast with this weapon. Now for the bleed build, we will start with the same 5 mandatory mods, and next of course the slash hunter munition, since this is a critical weapon and no one had a doubt that this was gonna be there. Now for the 2 remaining slots, we could have gone for a sawtooth clip and fanged fusillade for the slash procs, but the abysmal status chance does not help the weapon in this case. So we are gonna go with a viral build with 60-60 mods, because on top of increasing the status chance, the viral proc will outright reduce the HP of the enemy in half, so basically you are doing 2 times the damage. Yes, you have no benefits for extra applications of viral proc, but you need these slash proc to hit multiple times for the build to work, so you can't have the viral damage more than 4 times the slash damage or you won't get many slash proc, hence the 60-60 mods. Let's now spawn in the same test subjects, and for this build we will maul the enemy till about 50 to 60% HP and then leave it to bloodletting to finish the job. Isn't that fun? Just like we used to do in the 19th century. With the 60-60 mods, we are gonna get constant viral procs and more slashes, so this turns the enemy into a fountain of damage numbers. That looks amazing to me. But you see, this is the problem with this build. It's a tiny bit reliant on luck, well, too reliant on luck. As you saw, sometimes the viral proc might run out and the enemy will instantly gain half of its HP back. And at that point, you need to re-kill a half-healed enemy, so that's kinda bad. So in any case, it all depends on your playstyle. I like the corrosive style more because I don't like to use my already overworked brain even while shooting a gun. I just like to shoot the enemy till it dies and not be carefully calculating bloodletting. I'm not a 90s doctor. And now let's demonstrate why in lower levels I absolutely recommend you guys use corrosive build. 8 enemies. How many bullets will it take? Guess in the comments. Answer is 140. And now for the corrosive build. 8 enemies. How many bullets will it take? Answer in the comments. $80. Yep. And it's even faster, and I didn't use my brain. So yeah, for the lower levels, I don't think the bleed build is better. The bleed build is more for the endurance runs or endgame content, while for lower than level 60, I would definitely recommend you guys the corrosive build. And now for the outrageous stuff. I didn't want to do this, but many of you asked me to do this, so now we're doing memes. Don't blame me if this hurts your ears.